श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरवे नमः। हरिः ओम। भजन।
तुम विनती सुनो सबकी, कल्याण करो जग का। तुम विनती सुनो सबकी, कल्याण करो जग का। सर राह दिखा करके उद्धार करो दुर्गा। उद्धार करो दुर्गा। तुम विनती सुनो सबकी। दर्शन हो माँ तेरे, सबकी अभिलाषा है। मन में रहो तुम सबके, तुमसे यही आशा है। दर्शन हो माँ तेरे, सबकी अभिलाषा है। मन में रहो तुम सबके, तुमसे यही आशा है। क्या मेरा क्या उसका, ये अपन पराया क्या। सर ज्योति जला करके रोशन करो जग सारा। रोशन करो जग सारा। तुम विनती सुनो सबकी। संसार तो माया है, कभी धूप कभी छाया है। एक दिन उस जाना है, जो भी यहाँ आया है। संसार तो माया है, कभी धूप कभी छाया है। एक दिन उसे जाना है, जो भी यहाँ आया है। क्या रंग है जीवन का, क्या रूप है मानव का। तुम ज्ञान बढ़ा करके उपकार करो दुर्गा। उपकार करो दुर्गा।
Namaskar everyone and welcome to the Hindu Prachaar Kendra's Sunday morning Satsang live from our Sri Ram Vijay Mandir located at Jalibia Trace, Raghunanan Road in Enterprise, Central Trinidad. We are always so happy to have you join us, whether virtually or here in person. Of course, we look forward to seeing more and more of you in person here with us in the Mandir. And we hope you had a blessed Hindu New Year Day, which was last Friday, and of course an equally blessed start to our Chaitra Nav Ratri, which is going on right now. And it is such an auspicious period now, and it continues all the way up until when? I thought you were going to say not even Sunday de Kalyaji, after Sri Ram Navami on Sunday. What comes a few days after? Hanuman Jayanti. So we have a full 2 weeks of very special energies pervading our entire space, and do utilize all of these opportunities for renewal and for strengthening your commitment to Dharma by empowering yourself in the very best of ways. You know, whatever our personal sadhanas, our ongoing spiritual discipline, may be greatly energized during this time. And one of the ways we continue to emphasize here in our satsang is to keep the bhav. What is that? Keep the bhav. Bhav is what our positive energies, to keep a very devotional mood going and growing. Just let it get stronger and stronger and stronger. So we are going to do that right now. First with a bhajan, and then our Devi Stotra chanting session. The Devi Stotras continue to be requested every Navratri by many persons, and I think it is becoming a staple in our Navratri worship. So the Kalyaji is going, and this morning we have, well, I was going to say senior Mandali, but then some of the younger ones joined us. So a balance of the seniors and the younger ones. So we will join with Jai Narayani, Jai Jai Durge. And what are we saying in this bhajan? All victory and all praises to you, O Mother of the universe. My happiness knows no bounds when I remember you. The words are so beautiful. Every pore of my body becomes consumed by your love. You know, like when something is overflowing, like we are oozing devotion. Well, actually, that's nice. We should be oozing devotion, not snoozing devotion, okay? When the alarm goes off, we what? We put snooze. Nothing like that with our devotion and our love for God. So all praises to you, O giver of prosperity. Your mantras, in other words, your energy resounds within me, and I pray that every distress, in every birth of mine, it will be burnt in your brilliance, in the fire of your brilliance. O giver of auspiciousness, no one comes to you and leaves empty-handed. Dwaratihade aake maya koi khali nahi aaye. So what are you bringing for the Divine Mother this morning? And what will you take? What will you receive? No one leaves empty-handed. So of course it is a symbol. It represents something. Yes, we bring something. What will you bring? That's up to you. And what you will take, that is also up to you. So I just wanted to share the meaning of this bhajan, so beautiful, before we start singing. So the Kalyaji, we join with her. Jai Narayani, Jaya Jaya Durge.
Jai Narayani, Jai Jai Durge, Jai Jai Ambe, Namo Namah. Jai Narayani, Jai Jai Durge, Jai Jai Ambe, Namo Namah. Jai Jai Ambe,
So make sure you keep on chanting. And now through all our Devi Stotras, what are we especially trying to do this morning? Keep the bhav and continue doing this daily and throughout our lives. So all the stotras that we are chanting will come up on the screen in a bit. Let me just guide you before we get started. As we continue to pray and worship Divine Mother and surrender ourselves to her, I want to remind you, I hope you saw it in the flyer every time we share anything for Navratri. Our branding here at the Hindu Prachaar Kendra is close and intimate with the Divine Mother. What is that? Close and intimate with the Divine Mother. So I invite you to do just that. Those of you who are here in the mandir, you are here in the live beautiful ambience. Those of you at home, try to come close to her. And you will have to do that mentally if you are in your Devastan, at home, wherever you are. Be close, be intimate, come near to her. Communicate with her as you surrender. And we may do so for many reasons, for our own blessings, for our own well-being. But I want to also ask you this morning, through our collective worship and our collective surrender and energies, to seek healing for our world, to seek courage and strength for those who need it, Let us pray that the intellect and the actions of those in authority across the world, leading and shaping our world, that they will be motivated and transformed by what is noble and humane. So we are chanting first in our Stotra chanting session, 3 pieces we are doing this morning. Bhavani Ashtakam of Adi Shankaracharya. And in this we acknowledge our shortcomings and our limited abilities when we worship. Before the Mother we feign nothing. Actually, what can we feign before the one who is all-knowing, who knows everything? So we acknowledge our own ignorance of so many things. But there's one thing we know, and we declare this, and we say this to the Divine Mother: I know you are my only refuge. So I know one thing for certain: you will save me, you can protect me, you can lift me up. So we join in chanting this together. Those of you who are here, page 105 of Archana, page 105. Those of you virtually on screen, if you can't follow because it's all Sanskrit, the refrain at the end of each verse in all of them, you can try to join. So please say, Gatistvam,
Gatistvam,
Gatistvam, Tvam Eka, Bhavani. Gatistvam, Gatistvam, Tvam Eka, Bhavani. So you, Gati, you are the supreme refuge. Tvam Eka, you alone, O Bhavani, O Divine Mother. Very beautiful, very soothing. We chant together. Na tato na mata, na bandhur na data, na putro na putri, na prityo na bharta, na jaya na vidya, na vrittir mameva, gatistvam, gatistvam, tvameka bhavani, gatistvam, gatistvam, tvameka bhavani, bhavadhava pare, mahaduga bhiru, papata prakami, pralobhi pramattah, kusamsara pasha, prabadha sadaham, gatistvam, gatistvam, tvameka bhavani, gatistvam, gatistvam, tvameka bhavani. Na janami danam, na cha jnana yogam, na janami tantram, न च स्तोत्रमन्त्रं न जानामि पूजां न च न्यासयोगं गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी न जानामि पुण्यं न जानामि तीर्थं न जानामि मुक्तिं लयं वा कदाचित् न जानामि भक्तिं व्रतं वापि मातः गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी कुकर्मी कुसङ्गी कुबुद्धि कुदास कुलाचारलीना कदाचारलीना कुदृष्टि कुभाग्य प्रबन्ध सदाहं गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी प्रजेशं रमेशं महेशं सुरेशं दिनेशं निशीथेश्वरं वा कदाचित् न जानामि छायं सदाहं शरण्ये गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी विवादे विषादे प्रमादे प्रवासे जले चानले पर्वते शत्रुमध्ये अरण्ये शरण्ये सदा मां प्रपाहि गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी अनाथो दरिद्रो जरारोगयुक्तो महाक्षीणदीना सदाचार्यभक्त विपत्तौ प्रविष्ट प्रनष्ट सदाहं गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी बोलिए जगदम्बे माता की जय जय जगदम्बे हर हर महादेव such a beautiful, beautiful stotra, and we carry over the very sentiments and surrender to our next stotra, the Devi Aparadha Kshamapana Stotram again. This is composed by Adi Shankaracharya, and we continue saying, O Divine Mother, I don't know how to worship or even how to simply recite your praises, your glories. I don't know the art of contemplation, meditation, the ceremonies and the rituals. But there is something I know for certain, just like in the last one. I know this, O Mother, by earnestly remembering you. However imperfectly I may do so, my afflictions will be taken away. You will help me to overcome. You will help me to conquer. O Divine Mother, in this world, there are many children of yours. Actually, we are all her children. So out of all the children, there are some who might be straying and who might be faltering. And amongst them, I am foremost. I am the most restless. And this is why, because of this, you cannot forsake me, O Divine Mother. You have to take my hand and lead me along. So we join in this, page 107. Again, it will be on screen. Follow along with us wherever you can. Na mantram no yantram tada तदपि च न जाने स्तुतिमहो न चाह्वानं ध्यानं तदपि च न जाने स्तुतिकथा न जाने मुद्रासे तदपि च न जाने विलपनं परं जाने मातस् त्वदनुसरणं क्लेशहरणं पृथिव्यां पुत्रास्ते जननी बहवः सन्ति सरला परं तेषां मध्ये विरलतरलोऽहं तव सुतः मदीयोऽयं त्यागः समुचितमिदं नो तव शिवे कुपुत्रो जायेत क्वचिदपि कुमाता न भवति जगन्मातर्मातस्तव चरणसेवा न रचिता न वा दत्तं देवी द्रविणमपि भूयस्तव मया तथापि त्वं स्नेहं मयि निरुपमं यत् प्रकुरुषे कुपुत्रो जायेत क्वचिदपि कुमाता न भवति चिताभस्मालेपो गरलमशनं दिक्पटधरो जटाधारी कण्ठे भुजगपतिहारी पशुपतिः कपाली भूतेशो भजति जगदीशैकपरवीं भवानी त्वत्पानी ग्रहणपरिपाति फलमिदं न मोक्षस्य काङ्क्षा न विभववाञ्छापि च न मे न विज्ञानपेक्षा शशिमुखे सुखे चापि न पुनः अतस्त्वां संयाचे जननि जननं यातु मम वै मृदानि रुद्राणि शिव शिव भवानीति जपतः जगदम्बे सविचित्रमत्र किं परिपूर्णा करुणास्ति चेन्मयि अपराधपरम्परावृतं न हि माता समुपेक्षते सुतम् ॐ बोले जगदम्बे माता की जय जय जगदम्बे हर हर महादेव. And what are we trying to do in a very special way this morning? Keep the bhav. And nothing to help us keep the bhav like the next Stotra, which is an absolute favorite of, I think, everyone I know actually when we started teaching it here at the mandir. And I want to dedicate this next Stotra, Mahishasura Mardini, to our dear Dolly Budhai ji, our Dolly ji who had her birthday just a few days ago. Always so quiet, very respected, cherished elder, supporting in whatever way she can. And in our Heritage Vacation course, she was the senior most teacher, and she was the one looking after all the small children, and there'd always be so many of them, sometimes as much as 30 and more than 30 children. So patient and so loving. So very blessed, happy birthday to you. Shubha Janamdin, also teaching Hindi, so I should say that Shubha Janamdin, Dolly ji. And for our dear Guru Mata, who is a little under the weather this morning, who also loves the Stotra a lot. We remember you and we miss you this morning in our mandir. So we join together. You can follow page 96 of Archana. Now we are doing selected verses even the last Stotra, many of them, they're quite long, many verses. So we are choosing certain verses to do. So we are going to attempt 7 verses of Mahishasura Mardini, verses 1, 2, and 3. So 1 to 3, then 6 and 7, and 10 and 11. Very powerful verses. And of course, this entire Stotra, it talks about Divine Mother's power, her Shakti, her might, and her continuous slaying of all the terrible Asuras, foremost amongst them being Mahishasura. So the text is there on screen. For those who are not familiar, let's just read the last line of each verse. That's the powerful refrain that you can join in. Jaya Jaya He, say that. Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute. So the daughter of the mountain. So one more time. Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute. Let us join, keep the bow, very vibrant, very powerful Stotra. Whatever difficulties, whatever your sorrows, your challenges, we come before Mother close and intimate, and we surrender to her. Ai Giri Nandini Nandita Medini Vishwa Vinodini Nandanute Girivara Vindya Shirodini Vasini Vishnu Vilasini Vishnu Nute Bhagavati He Shiti Kanta Kutumbini Bhuri Kutumbini Bhuri Krute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute Suravara Varshini Durdhara Dharshini Durmukha Marshini Harsharate Tribhuvana Poshini Shankara Toshini Kalmusha Moshini Gosharate Tanujani Roshini Diti Sutaroshini Durmada Shoshini Sindhu Sute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute Hai Jagadamba Madamba Kadamba Vadam Priyavasini Hasarate Shikhara Shiromani Tunga Himalaya Shringa Nijalaya Madhyagate Madhu Madhure Madhu Kaitava Ganjini Kaitava Bhanjini Rasarate Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute Hai Sharanagata Vairi Vadhuvara Varavara Bhaya Daya Kare Tribhuvana Mastaka Shula Virodhi Shirodhi Kritamala Shula Kare Dumi Dumi Tamara Duddu Binada Maho Mukhari Krita Tigma Kare Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute Hai Nija Hum Krita Matra Nirakrita Dhumra Vilochana Dhumra Shate Samara Vishoshita Shonita Bija Samudbhava Shonita Bija Late Shiva Shiva Shumbhani Shumbha Mahahava Tarpita Bhuta Pishacharate Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute Hai Sumana Sumana Sumana
सुमनत सुमनत सुमनोहर कांतियुते श्रित रजनी 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 करवक्त्रवृते सुनयम विभ्रमर भ्रमर 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 भ्रमराधिपते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते सहित महाहव मल्लमदल्लिक मल्लिक दल्लक मल्लरते विरचित वल्लिक मल्लिक मल्लिक भिल्लिक भिल्लिक वर्गवृते सिद्धकृत पुल्लिस मुल्लसदारण तल्लल पल्लव तल्ललते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते ओ 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 जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते
बोलिए जगदम्बे माता की जय जय जगदम्बे हर हर महादेव. So this is the energy that we want you to keep with you. May it fill you up, may it empower you in the very best of ways. So a few moments for our pravachan. Whenever we listen to or we read the Devi Mahatmya or we hear Devi kathas, even in the Stotra that we just chanted, we see the Divine Mother engaged again and again and again in some really fierce battles, very ferocious battles, some of which seem actually quite bizarre in how it's written and how it's described in the kathas. And the asuras and the rakshasas, they seem to never die easily. Have you ever noticed that? In all of these kathas, the asuras, the rakshasas, they seem to never die easily. So in the Devi Mahatmya, in the Devi Bhagavad, the battles get more and more gruesome, more fierce and more terrible. So like an underlying theme, I would say, for every Navratri, and something which we can take as a personal commitment, it is the reminder to slay the asuras, to slay the rakshasas. But instead of saying slay the asuras or slay the rakshasas, what should we say? Slay my asuras. Slay my rakshasas. You answer honestly, huh? Remember, whenever we share these kathas, we should be most critical of our own self. Don't bother with other people. I always remind you of this. Satsang, yajna, puja, whatever we engage in, it's about myself and how I am transformed so I can have a very positive influence on the world and my surroundings and community. So you answer honestly. How many asuras do you have within yourself? How many rakshasas do we have within ourselves? And you know, from time to time, you see it, you examine your own lives. According to the circumstances in which we may find ourselves, these propensities emerge. And we like to see the rare, ugly heads, because it's like Ravan. You know, every time a head was destroyed, another head would come up. So we say this, it rears its ugly head. And often we are appalled by what human behavior has become, especially in our world today. So Navratri always invites us to take this very personal journey, to take an honest look within at our own selves and slay again and again on a daily basis, every moment, every opportunity we get, that inclination, that destructive inclination or potential that is there within us. So the many Navratri kathas we hear at this time, it reminds us what? To work on ourselves. You know, when you well, we short on technicians this morning, so if we have any little glitches also, please be forgiving. So if I ask Ish, where do you go for your workout? He will say, what Ish? To the gym. For the physical workout, we go to the gym, as some of these young people do, and even some who are senior, we try to keep as healthy as we can. But for our emotional, our spiritual workout, what do we do? Where do we go? You know, this is why satsang is important. Being in an environment like this, yajna is important. Our own personal sadhana, our spiritual discipline, that's where we work out ourselves emotionally and spiritually. So I want to cite very briefly a katha this morning. Actually, someone asked me about this 2 days ago, and I thought I'll just share a few thoughts on it. It's a well-known katha, so just a few minutes on Rakta Bij. Rakta Bij. It is from the Devi Mahatmya, Chandipat, from the 8th Adhyay, verse 40 onwards. So this is what I'm sharing with you. Falayana falanduštva Daitpan matru ganarditan yodham abhyaya yauridhau rakta bijo mahasuraha. Chant Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe, Jai 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 Jagadambe. It's described seeing the mighty Asura army facing defeat. So on the battlefield. And the description of the Asuras, patitan tan. They were fallen, they were falling down. Slain by the many powerful manifestations of the Divine Mother. The great Asura, Rakta Bija, he got ridha, enraged, furious. And Abhyayayau charged forward, came forward, Yodhum, to fight. To fight the Divine Mother. Rakta bindur yada bhumau patatyasya sharitaraha sam utpatati medinyam tat pramanastar asuraha. Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe, Jai 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 Jagadambe. So during this battle, you know the kathas, whenever a drop of this Asura's blood fell to the ground, this is why Rakta Bij, Rakta is the blood. Whenever a drop fell to the ground, Tat Pramanaha, an Asura of equal stature would rise up. Some Utpatati would get up, would rise up. Right? So let's see this. Blood. Blood is a source of life. Isn't that so? It's a sustainer. Can you live without blood in your body? Can you? Not possible. Okay? So it's a source of life. But when it gets contaminated, it becomes a source of, what's the opposite of life? Death. Okay? It becomes dangerous when it is contaminated. And many of you are involved in the blood donation drives and so on. Sevatiti's phenomenal work. When you go, someone went the other day and told me, Gita ji, I couldn't give. There are so many measures to ensure no contamination, that the donor is healthy. You know, so when blood, see the blood as a metaphor, when it comes out of an unhealthy source, it makes matters worse. It is deadly, it is dangerous, as it was with Rakta Bij, because he is the contaminated agent. All right? Now see our world today. Whether in the field of politics, religion, in our professions, in every sphere of position and power, in relationships, when these get contaminated, there is terror. When these get contaminated, it becomes dangerous, as Rakta Bij was causing. What is written? Sakalam Jagat, the whole world, Uttamam Bhayam, Jagmuhu, the whole world got terribly frightened. Now, you know, there's so much that is out of our control. Don't you agree? When we look at the plight of the world, we wish we can do things to help. We feel helplessness. There's so much that is out of our control. We can't do anything about it. But what is within our control, what is within your control, you can work on it. You can fix it. What is it? What is under your control? Absolutely. I'll talk like we do in Trinidad. Yourself. Yourself. So Rakta Bij is contaminating every place as he moves about and leaving a trail of blood behind. See these questions, huh? What does your presence bring to our place? What is your presence, my presence, bringing to this world? On our flyer, I think, maybe the note when I shared, I said, bring your vibration to the devotion. What we bring to our family, to our community, to our country, to our world. We have to be vigilant about this. This is why keep the vow. Keep the devotion powerful. What trail are you leaving behind? Are you leaving drops of contaminated blood? Remember, this is not about blood. What you are leaving behind, what you are made of, your presence, will it contaminate or will it motivate? See, the katha of the lotus is so connected to this. The lotus grows where? The Kalyaji, look, you have the lotus pond. Every time I go by the Kalyaji, whenever I manage to in that estate, she'll say, come and see my lotus, come and see my lotus, and take me in this, and I'll see this pond, very dirty, murky waters. How we have to thrive in a place with all of these unpleasant circumstances, but we have to remain what? Untainted by it. Rise up, bloom, become beautiful, be that lotus. Who is on, see our Devis, Mahalakshmi, the Lotus Rani, sitting on the lotus, holding the lotus, the divine mothers, we see them also holding the lotus, very beautiful. You know, when we were training as teenagers and as students, and even Siromani Ji and others who are here, when we would go to Gangadhara, Raviji always told us, when you go to a place, leave it better than you found it. Beautiful mantra to take. When you go to a place, leave it better than you found it. And he was describing this also about leaving garbage. If you go and it have garbage and stuff there by the river, by the beach, pick it up. You know, pick up what is there and also what you took with you. Leave it better. So we have come into this world. The world should become a better place because of our presence. So this is what Devi Katha teaches us. You know, she is the purifier, the cure for our adharmic maladies, if I could use that term. Her energy is an antidote, the antidote for us. Her mighty weapons are to slay the terrible. She amputates, when you hear the kathas, she mutilates. And this is the type of extreme measure and action required to save and to protect what is good. I was asking Ciro if Prof was going to join us this morning because, you know, when if the body becomes sick, the whole becomes sick, ill, and there's something that has gone wrong with a part, surgery. If the doctor says surgery, we will not like it. It's an extreme measure, but it becomes what? Necessary for life to continue. It becomes necessary for the greater good. We used the example, was that last week or week before, of the aloo? and the zabuka, any fruit that we have, the part that is not good, what do? We amputate, we cut it, we throw it away. So this narrative, the Rakta Bij Katha, it is so much about ourselves. See, lockdown was an extreme measure, isn't that so? But it was necessary for the greater good. So in the same way, we see the Divine Mother taking these very extreme measures to slay the asuras. Yavanta pratistasya sharir adrakta vindavaha tavantaha purusha jatas tadvirya bala vigramaha. Jai Jagadambe, Jai Jagadambe, Jai 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 Jagadambe. So as many drops of blood were falling from his body, so many Rakta Bijas were being born, as described before, with the same strength and courage and valor. Like when you have one vice, what happens? It begets all the other vices. When we have one virtue, it also begets all the other virtues. Yes, Krishnaji, when you have vice, you need advice. Yes, so I'm being advised here. So, see how beautiful. So, Sahasra Shaha Mahasuraihi. Thousands of Rakta Bijas were rising up. We can say an uprising of Rakta Bijas. Just like Ravan's 10 heads, as I mentioned. So seeing the fear, seeing the chaos, Chandika, one of the manifestations of the mother, told Kali Mata, Mata Kali, Machastra Pata Sambhritan, Rakta Bindun Mahasuran, Rakta Bindur Pratichatvam, Vaktre Nane Navegita. You go quickly and what? Drink the drops of blood falling from this great Asura. And why was she was describing the blood will fall? Because of the blows from my weapons. Walk about in the battlefield and drink each drop of blood being born from this Asura. In this way, when the Divine Mother is drinking, he will become bloodless and he will perish. It sounds so bizarre. And even when we look at Kali Mata, we feel sometimes what? Scared. But we don't understand the symbolism. So the Divine Mother is Jnanamayi. Jnanamayi, Jnananiyai, one of the descriptions of her, the embodiment of wisdom. So in the battlefield, see Rakta Bij and see the Divine Mother. The blood is being consumed. Wisdom consumes ignorance. The pure consumes the contaminated. The compassionate consumes the cruel. The auspicious consumes the inauspicious. And we can describe this in so many ways. So Chandika says to Kali Mata, go to the battlefield. Where is the battlefield? Where is your battlefield? We have what? Samsara, yes. But right here inside, our own minds, our own emotions, our own thoughts, So when in life you think of it, when are you and I not engaged in a battle? Is there any time when we are not engaged in battle? As you're just saying, virtue is engaged in battle with vice. The truth is engaged in battle with falsehood. Honesty is engaged in battle with deceit. The selfless is engaged in battle with the selfish. The divine is engaged in battle with the mundane. Dharma is engaged in battle with adharma. So our battles are never ending, going on all the time. That's why eradication by the Divine Mother on the battlefield and this idea of China Raktaha, bloodless, not a drop must be left. Every drop must be removed in our own selves. What? Remove it completely. Don't leave any destructive tendency, any vice to germinate. So from the very source we uproot. So let us all slay the asuras. Slay the asuras. What did I say? Slay my asuras within my own self. So this is the wonderful opportunity that periods like this, Navratri, Sri Ram Navami is coming up, the Hanuman Jayanti, our calendar keeps us working on ourselves over and over again. So with these thoughts, I invite you to all stand. We'll have Aarti as we continue praising the Divine Mother, traditional Aarti. Those of you who wish to come and make the flower offerings, you can do so. Sunamudi Devi Parvatavasini. We are praising that Divine Mother whom we are worshipping through all the pujas and rituals, and we describe her very beautifully, feeling very pleased with our devotion. So join with us, everyone.
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पार न पाया तेरा पार न पाया
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पार न पाया तेरा पार न पाया
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पार न पाया तेरा पार न पाया
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पार न पाया तेरा पार न पाया
पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल
पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल
पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल
पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल
ले तेरी भेंट चढ़ाया
ले तेरी भेंट चढ़ाया सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पार न पाया तेरा पार न पाया
सुअचोल तेरे अंग विराजे
सुमचोल तेरे अंग विराजे
सुअचोल तेरे अंग विराजे
सुमचोल तेरे अंग विराजे
केसर तिलक लगाया
केसर तिलक लगाया सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पार न पाया तेरा पार न पाया
नंगे पग तेरे आकर आया
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 सोने का छत्र चढ़ाया
सोने का छत्र चढ़ाया सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पार न पाया तेरा पार न पाया
सतयुग द्वापर त्रेता मध्य
सतयुग द्वापर त्रेता मध्ये
सतयुग द्वापर त्रेता मध्य
सतयुग द्वापर त्रेता मध्ये
कलियुग राज समाया
कलियुग राज सवाया सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पार न पाया तेरा पार न पाया
धूप दीप नैवेद्य आरती
धूप दीप नैवेद्य आरती
धूप दीप नैवेद्य आरती
धूप दीप
पाया, मनवांछित फल पाया। सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वतवासिनी, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया। सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वतवासिनी, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया। पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल, पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल, पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल, पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल। ले तेरी भेंट चढ़ाया, ले तेरी भेंट चढ़ाया। सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वतवासिनी, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया। सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वतवासिनी, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया।
Closing mantras. We join together chanting. We surrender as we pray for everyone and everything. Om Durjano Sajano Bhuyat Sajana Shanti Mapnuyat Shanto Mucheta Bandhebhyo Muktaschanyan Vimochayet Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahi Mahisha Gobrahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Dhyau Shantirantariksha Shanti Prithvi Shantirapah Shantir Aushadhaya Shantir Vanaspataya Shantir Vishve Deva Shantir Brahma Shanti Sarvagum Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Jag Pranam. सिया राम मैं सब जग जानी, करऊ प्रणाम जोरी जुग पानी। सिया राम मैं सब जग जानी, गजानन स्वामी की, श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की, उमापति महादेव की, जगदम्बे माता की, श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की, सियापति रामचंद्र की, पवन सुत हनुमान की, गोस्वामी तुलसीदास की, ट्रिनिडाद और टोबैगो देश की। बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम। हर हर महादेव. Please take your seats. Few very important announcements. So, of course, most important, keep this bhav with you, keep this energy with you, and you have the opportunity to do so. This week, you can join us for our Yajna, our Vasant Navratri Utsav. So happy we can do this again after a couple of years, always during the Chaitra Nav Ratri or Vasant Navratri as it's also called. 3 events. So I hope they'll bring the flyer up on screen. 3 nights of Yajna, this Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We are doing these 3 nights because we want to leave Saturday for all the preparations necessary for Sri Ram Navami, which is also a very big event for us here at the Mandir with the midday reenactment, the sohars and all of that. And our Mandir is a Sri Ram Mandir. It's very special for us. And then Hanuman Jayanti will follow the Saturday after on the 16th. So just to let you know how our yajna, we are doing 1 night of Devi katha. Mayaji will be doing Devi katha on Wednesday, our Gyan Kand. Okay, Gyan, we have to know the kathas, it has to be interpreted, and we have to understand what it means, the significance and relevance. So Wednesday is Devi katha night. Thursday is the grand night of Kanya Kumari Puja. Now usually we'll have our Kanyas on all the 3 nights so that all of you, the bhaktas, you can take your time to do the puja. But we are doing only 1 full night because we are avoiding the children have to come again and again. Remember, safety is still a concern, and we'll allow the full time while we do stotras and bhajans and so on for everyone to take their time to do the Kanya Kumari Puja. And very special also on that night, we will be launching our e-book. We had a preview about a month ago, so the ebook will be launched, Sita the Warrior Princess, and it's a collection of mantras, verses, and quotations from our shastras, from our gurus and so on, submitted by many persons across the globe. Actually, it started as something simple, and it grew into something much more grand. So we will launch the book that night. We'll ask our Kanya Kumaris actually to launch our book. I think that will be very beautiful. And on Friday, the last night, again our special feature, the powerful 1,000 names of Devi, Lalita Sahasranama. So these are our announcements. Now, we still have not worked it out because we are a little short on technicians. They are back out to work. They have classes, back to university and all of that. So we are confirmed for live stream on Thursday. Only on Thursday. So look out for our notices. If it becomes possible on the other days, on the other nights, we will let you know. So, as someone was saying, I think for 1 year, one of them, tell them to come. If there's no live stream, please come to the Mandir. We're following all the required protocols, and we'd love to have you and see some of you joining us here in the Mandir. So we wish you a very safe, blessed, and productive week, and keep the bhav, keep the energy building and growing, keep an informed and positive perspective on things, and we hope you will join us for all of these sessions coming up this week. Namaskar.